Good fine evening, fellow YouTubers. So, I was able to finish painting the glow-in-the-dark wand. However, by the time I got it painted, I ran out of paint to put on the scepter. I was going to put a little bit of glow-in-the-dark paint on the scepter, but that's just not going to happen. I'll do it for the next batch. Anyways, I got the supplies I need to finish this batch of wand, so right now I'm getting worked on and finished as quickly as I can. Repeating the steps multiple times with each wand, that sort of thing. I went to Walmart and got some more leather string. Went to Home Depot, got some Mod Podge, some copper wire. Went to the Wonder Magic shop and got a quartz crystal for the scepter. And right now I'm just getting all the handles glued on. I already have all my all my little Harry Potter style handheld wands. The handheld wands all have handles on them now. They're all tied, ready to be. There's like 2 more that are ready to be glued. And the glow-in-the-dark wand I made, you basically charge it with the light. I wasted most of the can, and I'm like, it wasn't intentional, mind you, because I didn't know how it worked. But once I discovered that you put a base coat of white spray paint underneath before you add your glow-in-the-dark spray paint, let the white base coat dry, and then you add the glow-in-the-dark spray paint on top of it, and it gives it sort of a off vanilla sort of color. And basically, when I charged it with the light, it glows, and I'm like, that's cool. That's what I wanted it to do. So with some of the money I make off this next batch of wands, I'll be restocking my supplies, obviously. But I've been working through the weekend to try to get these done as quickly as possible. The only thing I've noticed that I cannot do, well, at first I thought I couldn't wrap the handles at the same time. But then if I tie the knots tight enough, the handles don't move around. So that way when I go to glue them, you know. To make that money, YouTube. That's what it's all about, man. Life's a hustle. One of my homies bought me a monster, so shout out to homeboy Alex for that. Step on this monster and crank out these wands. Make like a Model T and crank out these wands. I don't need to sit here and chug the whole fucking thing in one sitting, but casually sip on it as I'm getting these done. Don't have any booze at the moment, but that'll bother me none. There's nights where I like to not drink. I might go like on a couple-day binge or whatever, and then take several days off from drinking. You know what I'm saying? Worst case scenario. But getting that scepter carved out, I've gotten sawdust all over my clothing. I made the hole deep enough and wide enough to fit the quartz crystal nice and snug. And it'll stand nice and straight up when I glue it in there just right. But I want to paint the scepter before I glue the crystal in there. My plan was to use some of that glow-in-the-dark spray paint on and around the hole where the crystal goes in, so that when it glows in the dark, it illuminates the crystal a little bit. But at least now I know how to apply it. So next time, the next crystal scepter in batch number 4 will have glow-in-the-dark spray paint on it. But in the meantime, I got one wand that glows in the dark. That's kind of cool. I noticed that Walmart had some glow-in-the-dark spray paints. They had 2 different kinds. They had the kind I was using, and then they had the this more expensive kind, which looked like it glowed darker. I might end up using that in the next batch, but anyways, smoke that, put that out. 1 second, YouTube. Now this right here is the scepter. Here's where the crystal's gonna go, all nice and carved out. Here's the handle of it. So for like a reference point, I'll paint the handle first, and then I'll do the second half of it after I do the handle. And then I'll wrap the handle on this one, podge it, and then after I podge this one, and the podge dries on this one, then I'll put the quartz crystal on the end of it here. And right now you're seeing a basic crystal scepter take form. And after the crystal's done drying on the glue on the inside of it, I want to wrap some copper wire around it to finish it off, kind of like I did the other one. I may end up just painting this a really rich dark green like I did the last one, to be honest, and making the handle black. Because this is the what I call the crazy wand of the batch, the one that's going to be the most expensive. I don't know. I mean, I got plenty of freaking colors to choose from, so it ain't no but a thing. There might be a little bit left in this can. So just for the sake of doing the inside of the hole, I guess. On the offhand chance there might be a little bit of glow-in-the-dark spray paint left in that can, I want to spray paint the inside of the hole on this crystal scepter white and let it dry. There feels like there might be a little bit left in there. So basically when the white paint dries right here on the inside, I want to blast it with whatever's left in this can of glow-in-the-dark spray paint and let it dry. And then I'll end up putting some painter's tape around the hole and on top of it, so when I paint the rest of the staff, I don't fucking fuck with the inside of that hole. And the Gorilla Glue should dry clear when I put it in there anyway, so yeah. I want to polish it before I glue it in there though. Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of spray paint in there. I can feel it. Wouldn't hurt to try. I mean, I did want to put glow-in-the-dark spray paint on my scepter as well, at least right by where I put the crystal in, so that when you charge this wand in the light, it'll glow right where the crystal sits. That'll be cool as fuck. It's a cool concept, and if there's even a slight chance there might be a little bit left in this can, why not take it? I've got getting these handles on to an exact science. Okay, I've got everything on these when I make these wands down to an exact science. Once the knots on the glue around these knots are pretty dried pretty solid, I'll take the snippers and trim off the excess. Set those to the side for a minute. Set that in there for a second. Now I'll leave the excess string on the handles when I put the glue on there that dries clear. So that way when it's done drying to a point where I know it ain't gonna come off, I can take my snippers and I want to scratch the paint. There we go. Get off of there. There we go. That looks much better. And then repeat the process to this one, which is a silver color. There's only like 3 little excess bits on here, so approval, so that's not too bad. The glue on here is still a little bit sticky, but it's dry enough that these aren't going to come undone if I don't fuck with them. I can set these to the side, let them continue drying. They're dry enough where they're not going to come off if I don't fuck with them. And I can set them to the side. They're dry enough to set to the side is the key thing. Now the last two wands that need their handles glued on, of course, we have the glow-in-the-dark wand and this gold wand right here. So I want to do this one first and then do this handle on this one. I mean, I might be able to, these wands are a lot, this one's a lot thicker than this one, but they're still thick enough they're not going to snap very easily. So, yeah, I'll try to do them both at the same time, but no guarantees. Let's put that one down for a second. Okay, so I want to take, this is the glue you want to use, clear Gorilla Glue. It's a bit more expensive, but it makes your wands look better in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Not that my opinion matters much. So what I'm doing is I'm going to put a bunch of that glue, just a little dab of it right there on that knot, right there on the knot where the leather's tied. And then I want to squeeze the vice clamp as tight as I can to that wand, right where that glue has just been applied. It'll squish that knot down while it dries. It'll hold it in place. Maybe able to do this one too. Yep, I might be able to actually do both of these at the same time. I might actually be able to glue the handles on these at the same time. I like that. I like that a lot. It speeds up production of my KingCobraJFS wands very nicely. There we go. Oh yeah, those will dry very, very nicely. Okay, so the last two. Now, once the glue is done drying on these, I'll repeat the step that I did with the last two. All these handles are done. You can see that because they're shiny. Oop. These wands are about 95% done right here. You can tell that because the handles are dry, they're nice and shiny. The final step before I podge any of these wands is to make sure that the color looks good on the wands themselves. There's no scratches or chips in the paint. Letting it dry, and then once it gets that final coat of Mod Podge, you know what I'm saying? So that next batch of wands is looking good, YouTube. And the handle for this one is almost done drying. It's dry enough where I can set it to the side. And it'll be dry just like the rest of them. Soon enough. Which leaves... Which just leaves 4 wands to podge on the handles, plus the scepter, which is 5. Let these hands continue drying. Those 2 are just about ready for podge. Now, for the moment's being, I don't think we're going to need our glue until we get ready to wrap a handle for this thing. So it's always important to recap your glue so it doesn't dry out. Don't want to waste your product. There we go. And I didn't even have to use the bark knife on it this time. I just took some sandpaper to it and sanded the shit out of it. Well then, to make sure that glow-in-the-dark spray paint shows up like it's supposed to, you're gonna make sure that that coat of white is on the inside of it. The ghost is fucking with my shit again. That's funny. Apparently the ghost in my apartment is just like, I don't like the way that storm window looked. It needs to be closed a bit more. I just watched the storm window close halfway down by itself. That's awesome. Dump all that excess paint into the trash can. There we go. Now we're cooking, good looking. Inside of that wand is coated beautifully. So now when that scepter dries on the white paint right there, I'm basically going to attack the inside hole with whatever's left of that glow-in-the-dark spray paint, like I said, and yeah, hopefully there's enough in there, YouTube, that there'll be like a little bit of glowing effect with the quartz underneath it. And let's see, I need some painter's tape. It was either the ghost or my powers, one of the two, which is weird because sometimes, I mean, when you practice magic and the occult and that sort of thing, you know, sometimes it could be a ghost in your apartment or your house, or sometimes it could be, you know what I'm saying, it could be your powers, it could be a ghost, you know. One of the two. Now the reason why I put painter's tape right here is so that I don't get any of the glowing spray paint that's left in the can. All of it just goes straight into that hole. I don't want to waste any of that last little bit on the stick at the moment. Now if I had more, then yeah, if I would have known. And most people in my position would have been like, oh, wouldn't it have been smart to just look up a how-to video on YouTube? Yeah. But typical guy, I don't need no stinking instructions, I'll figure it out on my own. Even if I end up wasting half the damn can. Or all of it in this case, which I didn't mean to, but oh well. There's enough spray, or excuse me, there's enough painter's tape. There we go. Just enough painter's tape to leave the edge of that hole exposed in the inside of it. So we go like that. Yeah, there's definitely going to be a little bit left in there. So yeah, I've been working through the last couple of days here, getting these done. And then once the white's done drying on the inside of this quartz crystal port, then I'm going to hit it with the rest of that paint in that can, and then let that dry. And once that's done drying, then I'm going to tape off that hole with the painter's tape, and then paint the rest of the stick, like down to a certain point. By the time those handles are done drying on the glue and the ends get snipped, pretty much getting this one painted, and the 4 or 5 wands that I have left in the batch to complete are going to be pretty much worked on and done within the next couple of days or so. Unless my OCD kicks in and I'm just like mathematically killing off each one at a time. Just boom, done, boom, done, boom, done, boom, done, you know. And then next thing you know, they're all done, and it's like, there you go. So the quicker I can get these done, the quicker I can get them sold to you people. Yeah. I mean, the inside of the hole is going to be protected with, then once it's all done being painted, I don't hit the whole stick with podge and then handle. It doesn't look like much now when you start off with just a basic stick, but then slowly but surely it takes form. What? this. Where's that? Where's the black? Okay, where's the fucking dark green? Okay, now I know I bought a can of green paint, and I know it's around here somewhere. But, oh, it's in my fucking hand. Gloss meadow green, yeah, that'll do nicely. I suppose for the sake of producing a more clean paint line on this particular scepter, what I want to do now is take some painter's tape and mark off a small section of this to be painted black for the handle. That way I can just hold it here and be like, do 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 do, you know what I'm saying, like just a quick coat. It doesn't make any goddamn sense to sit here and wait for these fucking things to dry, when theoretically speaking I should be able to get these done as quickly as possible. Should be able to. And again, I might try doing something custom with the handle too. Let's see. Yeah, right about there. Yeah, that's the perfect line for that. Of course, the painter's tape is going to come off when let's see. I'm gonna peel off in the area. This. Oh, this is deep forest. Yeah, this is the dark green I was looking for. I knew I had a can of this. So like these two shades of green, yes. This stuff. Yeah, here we go. Need the stuff for the handles, man. I might try adding different shades of green to the black handle once that black's done drying. I'll kind of tape it off and hold it over the trash can for a second, let all of it drip. There we go. Excellent. And now that I've got the handle part painted, I'll let that dry. And I'm going to keep this painter's tape on because I'm going to do a spiral effect with the different colors. As soon as that black's done drying, I'm going to tape a spiral going this way, paint it one shade of green, and then do the spiral reversed, going back up in a different shade of green. And then I want to very, very loosely make the gap on the handle very loose, very wide, so you can see the spiral effect of it. That's looking good. Make this look like something that'll look really cool when it's all said and done. Just as I suspected, baby. Just as I suspected. Yep, there was a little bit of glow-in-the-dark spray paint left in here. I seen that shit. I felt it too. I was like, huh, I bet you. Just enough to do the inside of the hole where the crystal's gonna sit. I filled the crevice up with that paint. And I'm gonna roll it around the inside of that white paint so that it coats. And I'm rolling the paint around the inside of that crystal port over the trash can so that any excess drips. So pretty much the last of that spray paint for the glow-in-the-dark shit is going on the inside legitly. Now I'm going to let it pour over the edge of the stick very slowly so that it coats the rim of where I taped it off at. It's probably going to end up covering that tape I put on there and doing it over the trash can so it doesn't get all over the carpet. Sweet. Just enough glow-in-the-dark spray paint to do the inside where the crystal's going to sit. And crystals reflect light as it sits. So it's just going to reflect light into that hole. That's going to look sick. Fuck yeah, dude. That is what's definitely what's up. Yeah, definitely. That's definitely an off-white. Shit, maybe there's not enough. I put as much of that glow-in-the-dark spray paint in there as I can. This will look fucking sick though. Get out of there. Get in there. Yeah, drain the can in there. Yeah, that's what I like to see. Yeah, that can's dead. Where's the cap for it? Huh. I just had it in my hands. Oh, there it is. And just like I did before, all that glow-in-the-dark spray paint, the last of that can that's in there, I'm going to rotate it very slowly, one way and the other. That way it's all getting absorbed into the area. Just enough glow-in-the-dark spray paint to finish it on the where that crystal's going. I like that. I like that a lot, YouTube. So you may end up getting a glow-in-the-dark scepter after all. Sweet. Get on it, you bastard. It's the same shade of it's the same shade of off-white as this one, so that is sweet. Now hopefully the end of that glows, because that'll be wicked awesome. And at this point, YouTube, pretty much all the ones are practically damn near done. So it's gonna have to set the scepter down on these paint cans, just like that. Yeah. Let the paint dry on the inside of that scepter and on the handle. Let's see. So now after I trim the bits off on these last two handles right here before I get to handling the scepter, these two wands right here are going to have the podge put on them, while these two dry a little bit more. And by the time these are done drying on the podge, these will be dry, these last two, you know. So it's just step by step, you know, repeating each process. That is fucking sweet, man. But yes, I've been working very hard on this third batch to get it done as quickly as possible. And I was about ready to throw out that can of spray paint too, but then there was just enough left to hit the inside of that quartz crystal hole where it's going to go. Yeah. And to protect the glow-in-the-dark spray paint from the rest of it being painted, I'm going to, once it's all done drying, I'll tape off a certain section of it to where that way the hole doesn't get covered in any other spray paint. Well then, love that sound. And this is pretty much what I've been doing all day, working on wands. I got the sticks that I needed for this batch, and I made it happen. I mean, you know, basically at this point, all I can do is wait patiently for the next two to dry to that point, so that way, I mean, this is as far as I can go in the batch for the moment. Now it's just letting everything dry up. Now the copper wire I got to wrap around the scepter is right here. This is the stuff I picked up to wrap around it. Wrapping some of it around the crystal where it'll sit, so that when the light is reflected into the quartz crystal when it's carried out in the daytime, all that light reflected from the crystal into the hole will charge it so that at night, hopefully, at least that's the theory, I look at the inside of that quartz crystal hole, and it's the same shade of off-white, kind of, as the glow-in-the-dark wand. That is fucking what's up. I was kind of bummed because didn't realize how expensive glow-in-the-dark spray paint is, but I had to pick between getting leather string for the rest of the handles or more glow-in-the-dark spray paint, and I made the wise decision to get more leather string. Yesterday I wasn't able to get it with all the supplies, and it's today. Regardless, YouTube, these wands are getting done ASAP. And this copper wire is thick enough it'll add accent to the crystal scepter, but thin enough it's easy to bend. And this right here is like the last thing I put on the wand, damn near. Asperger's. Beautiful. Stay. Let's see, it is, holy shit, 10:03, goddamn. I'll be working late into the night to get these done as quickly as possible. It may get to a point where I'm tired, I'll just kind of relax for a bit, but then, for the most part, you know. This is how you make that money, man. Although I've been advertising for this batch on YouTube a little bit, so there might be some hype. And yet I wonder, do I got room to polish another handle? Well then, maybe not. I'm going to speed up the process a little bit. How do you like them? Apple's YouTube. I might actually have enough room to get another handle polished. It'll make these go just a wee bit quicker. So, the next handle I'm going to polish is this one right here. This one's got a little bit of a curve to it, but you can see the handle's big enough to fit my hand, and I got a pretty big hand, so cool. I'll do that here in a second when I finish smoking this. This will speed things up very, very nicely. Especially if I put polish from like here all the way down. Oh geez, there's so much more polish on this brush that it's not even usable. Yeah, this brush has seen its last polish. It gets to a point where it's so thick you can't even paint it on very easily. Damn. To grab a brand new Mod Podge brush. Let's go look here. So is that. Brand new Mod Podge brush. I find YouTube that getting each one done and repeating the same steps over and over and over and over versus doing one wand at a time, it seems to go a little bit quicker. Here we go. Got that the polish on that handle done. Set that down in there, just like that. Might actually have room to get all these handles polished. except for the last two, which are still being glued. Oh yeah, we'll make room. Speed up the production of my wands a little bit. There we go. That sped up the production of that very nicely. And to be brutally honest, YouTube, I may end up doing that spiral design on the wand itself instead of on the handle. It'd look cooler on the wand, yeah. Do like the whole wand green, like a nice dark green. Let it dry, and then did a lighter green and black spiral pattern. Yeah. Yeah, to tell you the truth, I mean, yeah, you know what, that'll look way cooler, to be honest. I'll leave the handle black, but I want to do this one this wand part. Like the first coat on the wand will be what's it called? That rich green. And I want to wait to do like half of this, like pretty much up to here. But I might have like the spiral go from like here all the way to here, because the copper wire is going to be wrapped a little bit thicker right around in this area. I need a bigger piece than that. Yeah, I've never really attempted to use painter's tape to create a paint design in any of my wands before. So this will be interesting to say the least. There we go. Go. And just for the simple fact of the matter is, I don't want to mess this up right here at the top. Yeah, that paint's still going to be wet. I don't want to mess with the off-white on that, because the off-white drying on the inside of there of that hole is that glow in the dark spray paint. Let's see if it continue the spiral, kind of like tapering off right there, from there to there. And this will give me the effect I'm going for on this. There we go. And I'm pretty much going to be leaving this painter's tape on. And I'll leave this is where I'll be doing that spiral effect, because most of the copper wire is going to be like wrapped in there. So let's see, Nice thing about painter's tape, it comes off real nice like. The handle's just about completely dry. Oh yeah, look at that. The handle is completely dry. I like that a lot. The handle is dry enough. I can hold it by the handle now, and yeah, I like that a lot. At some point, I'll be taking the tape off right here at the top when this is done drying right here, and pretty much taping the top off to protect the glow-in-the-dark spray paint. Okay, so it's not completely dry, but it's dry enough I can handle it. All puns intended. Now if I set the scepter on between two cans of paint here like that while it's drying, then that'll help speed up the process a bit. We'll get these done. Get those in the way. That right there is a gorgeous shade of green. I like that. Rich, dark green. I'll let that dry. Let it drip into the trash can for a bit. Alright, so now I put a nice coat of this on there. And I want to set it on the paint cans. Between on the tape there. And I give those glued handles a little bit more time. But the Mod Podge on one of these is on the silver one. Yeah, that's dry enough to sit down to the side. Excellent. This one looks like it's still going. In the drying process. Move it. Sit it down like that. There we go. There we go. Set it down on top of another can, set the cans like that. There we go. Alright, so now I'm going to give those current wands I have in the vice clamp a little bit more time to dry on the glue before I take them out. Snip the excess off and set it to the side. The all black wand is still drying on the podging of the handle, which basically after that's done, it's going to leave those two on the vice clamp plus the handle on the crystal scepter to podge. But every other wand minus the scepter is practically this close for the final coating of podge, which is a good spot to be. I may end up just doing 2 different shades of green on the spiral effect and leaving the black on the handle. That'll still look cool. Although if I do 3 different colors, it might actually look a lot cooler. If I do 3 different spirals going up the handle, you know what? It'll take longer, but I'll do it. Because by the time I get done with the handles on all the other wands, YouTube, they're basically, once the glue's done drying on those 2, and I want to set those to the side, let the glue dry a little bit longer. And keyword, if the scepter is dry enough, I'll add painter's tape and start spiraling it. I mean, yeah, spiraling the black in 2 different shades of green. It'll take a little bit longer, but it'll be worth it because it'll produce a cool looking effect. Just going to require lots of unwrapping. But as far as the wands go, this is a good spot to be at. waiting for them to dry takes for freaking ever. But the finished product will look good. Yeah. I notice as the glow-in-the-dark spray paint dries, it gets kind of an off sort of white. I can definitely see that glowing off white on the inside of the hole just from here. That's exactly what I want. Look at that. I've already got red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple, and the white and black. They're all black, and the silver wand. That's like 9 wands. And just getting them done is all you gotta do, man. That's all you can do. If you wanna make that money, though, you know what I'm saying here to you? If you wanna make that money. I would have made a video sooner, but I was busy getting wands done, and this just seemed like the more appropriate time to film. To where I'm like, I'd say about 75 to 80% done with this batch of wands. Now, waiting for them to dry takes, understandably so, a considerable amount of time. But once they're done drying, yeah. Because by the time the glue gets done drying on the handles on those 2 wands right there, the podge should be done drying to a point. Because I mean, I'm just turning up, putting that, just leave it right there. Watching wands come together doesn't get much funner than this. But before I podge the wand, half of the wand, I gotta make sure that the paint's touched up and that it looks good. And there's no like nicks in the paint and shit like that. I mean, yeah, you could use craft paint to paint your wands, but I prefer spray paint. It looks a lot sharper. But again, that's just my opinion. I mean, I'm just doing like the same 13 wands for the fourth batch. I don't know. See, I'm not even worried about the fourth batch right now. Right now, I'm more worried about getting this batch done. That glue is dry enough on that one, but I can trim the excess and set it to the side. Snip. For the sake of molding it better when I add this one's not too bad. Do that. Once we polish that, I'll just seal. And we're gonna polish that to try and seal that. I know what, for the sake of making these handles better, I'm going to add a pinch more of that glue right there. I know it's still dry, I only need to add glue to it, just put it back on there. Oh, this handle could be polished for sure. Yep, that one's ready to be polished. So the gold handle, or the gold wand, the handle on this one is ready to be polished. I trimmed the excess off the glow-in-the-dark wand and I put it back on the vice clamp because the glue on it is still drying. And that way the knot will squeeze down flatter when it dries. It'll look better. But the gold wand is ready to be polished on the handle. Get it good. Well, now, this fell off the this kind of fell off onto the floor, but that's no big deal. Don't want anything sticking to it. Alright. Okay, where? There it is. There's that jar. Motherfucking cock-sucking piece of shit. And we're breathing. Be nice if I could put the lid of Mod Podge on without spilling it like a fucking retard, but you know, hey. As far as tonight's gone, the wand making process has been very easy thus far, so really, I'm not going to complain too much. Cheap ass motherfucker. Scepter. paint on that is dry enough where I can do a little bit more taping on it. Let's see. Alright, so now I'm putting some tape on top of the hole so I can protect it from getting any unwanted spray paint. But that'll protect that area from getting and the only reason I'm adding so much of the painter's tape, it'll produce a much nicer product in the end. There we go. Now to create that spiral effect, I should just try tearing it in the piece in half to create tinier spirals, but that's not going to happen. So I guess we'll start off here and kind of go around. In a pattern. Like that. Grab a lighter green. You know what, I may end up just doing the 2 different shades of green for the spiral effect anyways, because I don't know if it'll let me do a 3rd one with the black. There's already black on the handle anyway. It'll still look cool when it's done drying, and then take all the paint off, and I'm going to end up retaping the top section where that hole is to touch up the last half of it, where the spiral doesn't quite, where the spiral will end and stuff. Or I could just paint the top half of it, leading up to that white black to contrast with the green. Yeah, that would look kind of cool actually. And try to do like a dark green spiral, continuing the spiral up into the, which is the one green, but the darker green, yeah. But I'd have to make the spiral a lot tinier, closer up towards that. Or just do it one color. I'm holding over the trash can while the excess drips off. Now that the excess is completely dripped off, now this here is going to dry, and when it's done drying, I want to peel that excess painter's tape off. The entire thing of painter's tape is coming off. When this is done drying, we'll take a look at it from there and go from there. Doesn't look like much now, but by the time this is all said and done, this is gonna be one sweet fucking crystal scepter. Set this down. Right there, let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is on the way. Handle number 9's on the way. Now, pretty much the only wand I have done for this batch, YouTube, is the clear coat wand right here. This one didn't require any paint, so you get this one done first, and then do all the other wands in multiple stages. They repeat the same stage over and 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 over. The drill battery is charged, or at least a charger. I'll wash my hands. I'll be right back, YouTube. Yeah. I'm practically down to the last couple of steps on these. How many of these need the final two touch up though? Let's see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of those wands just need the final two on the touch up. But there's like soon to be 9, 10. So I almost have a full 10. They're ready for the final two steps with the final two not far behind. Plus the one on the table that makes 13 total. Boom. Let's see, how long is this vid? 1 hour? It's a wand making video, so it's justifiable, to say the least. But, I don't show you all of what I do with the wands here on YouTube at the moment, but a couple of things here and there won't hurt. And as soon as that paint's done drying on the scepter, I'm going to peel off all that painter's tape completely, and then reblock the top section again, and finish, and then block off the spiral pattern on that little section. And then I might paint that a separate color, like just a flat black to match the handle, so it gives it some contrast with the white on the inside of the crystal hole. Once all said and done, it'll produce a very sharp looking scepter. I didn't use painter's tape on any of the other wands because those are pretty easy to, you just do them in stages, you know. I'll make a separate video for the scepter itself, like when the paint's more done. I'm not going to reveal too much more detail of this. I mean, this is the very basic, straightforward video. But yeah, those are gonna look nice. They're almost done. That's the best part of the YouTube. Yeah, I'm not going to be too much longer on this here video because it's getting late. I'll try and get these wands done in the next, I'd say about 3 to 4 days. So by the end of this week and on the next week. Now pretty much once the polish is done drying on the gold wand's handle, it's like 2 wands left to polish on the handle. And I haven't even wrapped the handle for the scepter yet. I'm getting it painted and all the polishing for it done and all that before, or at least, yeah, I'm painting the scepter before I add the handle to it. Patience is a virtue, especially when it comes to waiting for wands to dry YouTube. I wonder if there's enough room for me to stick this one. There we go. No, I'm not relying on paint cans to dry them all. But how's the polish looking on this black one? And it's good. It's just about dry to set to the side. Because I had the all black wand literally sitting on 2 spray paint cans on the wand side. But there's enough gap in that vice clamp right now that I can sit it in the middle between the other 2 wands. And none of them go up for sale until they're all done and completely done drying. When I first started doing this, people tried getting me to sell them wands before the first batch was even up, and I'm like, oh, I'd like to help you out, but I really, it's not fair to the people out there who've been waiting for this kind of thing to happen for a long time. I took a drill bit earlier to drill out the hole for the quartz crystal, and I made sure it fit in there nice and snug before I painted it. And it fits very nicely. There's probably not going to be a whole lot of glow to the inside of that hole where the crystal sits, but hopefully there's a little bit at least. For lack of better words, at least I tried. Sometimes in life, YouTube, that's all you can do is try. And I've been working on these since this afternoon. Yeah. But yeah, drinking some Monster, getting these wands done as quickly as I can. Hopefully by the end of the week, towards the weekend, we'll see them looking a bit more complete than they are now. That was a weak ass fart. Man. Anyways, back at you with another wand making video. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the flip side.